Goedemorgen, good morning, hujambo, buongiorno, konnichiwa. Rock, paper, rock, clay, sand, right? So, how do you get more of those? When you've been playing Big Farm for a longer time, and you have a bigger farm and you've got lots of fields, then getting these is maybe not such a big problem. But when you're a newer player and you still want to upgrade the buildings on the village farm, that is 10,000 rocks needed. When you plant edge plants being bamboo, spruce, poplar, willow, etc., you get the harvest that you originally intended to plant, then you get the edge plant, but you also get a secondary harvest. There's a chance to get clay, rocks, or sand, depending on which edge plant you planted. Now, you don't get these secondary harvests only when planting, you also get them after that. Eventually you'll have more of the various types of wood than you need, but still not all the rocks that you need. For example, after you harvest your main harvest and your edge plants, then the soil will be damaged. It may be rocky, sandy, or clayey, and the damaged field causes your main harvest to be smaller. The time period will be the same as the time of your original harvest. It takes 6 hours to grow aloe, and so therefore the field will be damaged for 6 hours as well. If you plant another 6-hour crop like aloe, so if you plant another aloe on this one for 6 hours, you will firstly have much less aloe than you normally have. 60% less harvest on your main harvest. So the harvest goes from 296 for me to 158 because of the damage. It is going to take 6 hours to get a random chance of somewhere between 0 to 15 rocks. That is a long time to wait for very little rocks. When you harvest it, yay, we got 13 rocks. And now the field is cleared. 13 rocks after 6 hours is really not a quick way to get to 10,000. So, what do we do then? Adding a humus only increases the original harvest and the edge plant. It does not make a difference on the secondary harvest. If we go back, it's now more dandelion, more bamboo, but the clay is still only between 0 and 4, a random chance. Instead of planting long harvests, you can plant shorter ones. Please note that wildflowers and alfalfa, you cannot plant edge plants as their growth time is too short. The shortest seed that you can sow that allows you to plant edge plants is corn. Bamboo is the cheapest edge plant, but even for spruce, 510 village dollars every 5 minutes for a low random chance to get 0 to 1 rocks really is not something that I would have wanted to do when I was a new player. I'm gonna skip this and see what we get. So we spent 510 village dollars and got not that 3 rocks. Hey, I thought I said between 0 and 1. Oi, math. Yep, big farm math, very funny. Let's do that again. And we get a full barn. 0. So that was first 3 and then 0. You could plant short-term plants. 3 rocks in 5 minutes was still considerably better yield than 13 rocks over 6 hours, right? But it is exponentially more expensive because the cost of the edge plants, spruce for 5 minutes cost 510 village dollars, and spruce, let's change to spruce, for the 6 hours would also cost $510 village dollars. It makes the corn version so expensive. Surely there's a better way. Yes, there is. Let's swap farms because I've prepared something to make it easier. Now on Mini Rapunzi, I have planted some bamboo. Bamboo as a edge plant will give you clay as a secondary crop or harvest, because that's not a crop. And I can't see how much we got. No, move out of the 2. 4 clay, and this one 2 clay. It is so funny that Big Farm says 0 to 2 clay and you get 4. Anyway, now this field will be damaged for 9 minutes. We could plant the rutabaga and have a chance for 0 to 2 clay over the next 9 minutes. You know, which after Big Farm maths may turn out to be 4. Who knows? But there's an alternative. Even though corn is the shortest crop you can plant with edge plants, you can plant even shorter ones on the damaged field. And planting wildflowers still gives you a chance to get the secondary harvest. It now says a 0 to 1 chance compared to the 0 to 2 chance on the rutabaga. But the rutabaga will take 9 minutes, whereas the wildflowers will take 2 minutes, which means you can plant 5 times the wildflowers, and 5 times 0 to 1 tends to often be more than 1 time 0 to 2. That is so convoluted. You can also plant alfalfa, which is normally too short for a edge plant, but you can plant that on the damaged fields as well. The amount of alfalfa or wildflowers that you get from it will be less. Here I have planted grass, which is a longer growing crop, with spruce, making it cheaper to damage the field. That sounds very, very, very wrong, but we got 7 rocks now. And now I have 2.5 hours in which I can plant wildflowers. Let's see. 1 clay. So that was 1 clay in 2 minutes. I think the explanation took longer than the tip. That usually is the case with me. I'm sorry, I ramble too much. I also get distracted too much. Where were we? Tip of the week. If you need a lot of rock clay or sands. Sands? Yes. Plant a crop with an edge plant over a longer period of time, and then plant the shortest possible crop that you can, and with each harvest of these you will get a small amount of the rock clay and sand. So whether you want the rock clay and sand for upgrades or whether you want them for production, plant a longer running crop with edge plants, get the wood you need, get a few of the secondary harvest, then after that plant the shortest crop that you can, and for a longer period of time have a small chance of getting, yes, a very small amount, but consistently getting rock clay and sand until the field is fixed. And that is the cheapest and fastest way of getting rock clay and sand that I know of in Big Farm. Until next time, have fun farming.